All right, we'll get to OBJ in a second, but first, Padres, Braves, Fernando Tatis Jr. gets caught in the pickle. He's able to dodge the tag somehow, and he's safe.
Oh! Second time in a week, Fernando Tatis Jr. made but first. One time turning a double play that, holds up on review as well. Can't blow the...
You love review,
Come on, the first baseman. He's got to be able to touch him lower on this.
I know, you can't blow that.
NBA Summer League, Miles Bridges, the steal, the Euro step into the windmill.
First time ever, see, in a game, a Euro step into a windmill. First time documented.
Goodness, okay, Jesus.
What?
We're in the Summer League. First time. One of one?
One of one in documented basketball history. Euro step into a windmill.
Wait,
I challenge anyone to present me with other evidence.
Nick came in this morning and said this one has to be
Somebody present to me a partner who's crazier than him.
Man,
Atlanta Entertainment Basketball League.
Documenting history.
Angelo Sharpless bounces the ball over the defender. This is a self-alley-oop.
Now, this is not one of one in NBA history or Atlanta Basketball League history, but it is pretty dope.
He's a globetrotter?
He's a globetrotter.
Well,
former T2 player of the year.
Globetrotter.
He's trying to catch on with the NBA.
His career is shapeless.
Oh, well done. I mean, that's not nice, but it is. Well
Play on the name there. So it's not insulting him. Let's talk some football. 2 years ago, the Cleveland Browns couldn't win a game. Literally, the team went 0-16. But then they drafted a Heisman winner out of Oklahoma in Baker Mayfield. And then they traded for three-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. And then David Njoku said OBJ has been a phenomenal fit. And suddenly, the Browns, once the laughingstock of the NFL, are suddenly the hottest team. So, CC, will Odell and Baker immediately mesh in year one?
I don't see a problem. I like the fact that the quarterback has 3/4 of a season where he was the starting quarterback and he was the leader in the locker room. I'm glad he established himself as the leader before you have Odell come in there. So Odell, even though he had a relationship with Baker before he was traded, they worked out last year in Los Angeles, which a lot of players do, especially there at UCLA. So this offseason, both of them are very, very excited. I've talked to Odell. He's very excited about the transition. I just believe, too, that there's a couple familiar faces, that being Jarvis Landry and Adam Hendry, the wide receiver coach who coached Jarvis and Odell at LSU and coached Odell with the Giants. I believe that right there helps him become more familiar with that offense, gets him up to speed where they're able to move him to several different positions. And this is a good offense. They got a good offensive line. They have 2 good running backs. Going to get Kareem Hunt at middle season. So as an offense, they're as talented as offense as you're going to have in the NFL, and the chemistry, it shouldn't be a problem between Baker and OBJ.
The year before you set the NFL record of catches with Warren Moon, who was the Vikings quarterback? Do you remember off the top of your head?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think Sean Salisbury and a couple other guys.
Okay, so what is the transition when you go from a quarterback who is doing his best but missing you a lot, to a quarterback that is accurate, strong-armed? I understand Baker's not Warren Moon, but Baker is an enormous upgrade from where Eli was last season. So for Odell, what is the transition? What are the things, positives, and if there are any negatives to it?
Well, Eli Manning has a huge arm, and their inability to be able to protect Eli, it affects the quarterback. All right, so they got to be able to keep him clean, which they were able to do last season, but because he can throw the ball on a line, you can have more yards after the catch. So your reaction time, you have more reaction time to the defender. When a defender decides to stop, that ball being in the air, that's where he makes up ground. And when you have an arm like Baker has, and the accuracy that he has, especially as a young quarterback, it's a huge advantage for the wide receivers, what type of routes he can get the ball in, even if I'm not covered, if I'm double teamed. So the variety for which Baker can get the ball to him, there is no defense that you can actually take OBJ out of the game.
As a former wide receiver, you've played with a number of quarterbacks. Who do these two, maybe even talking potential, who do they remind you of young, hotshot guys that came up in the league?
I don't really think it's fair to put that on them early. I do believe that as we move forward, they'll be one of the best duos that we have in the league, and not just because of them, because the supporting cast, we have to understand they have a good offensive line. They got 2 good running backs. Freddie Kitchen did a great job redirecting this offense last year. They started running the ball, which led to play action. Jarvis Landry had an outstanding Njoku, the tight end. He will be outstanding. So, no, it's just not based on them. This should be one of the most electric offenses that we have, but it's about productivity. Can they convert on 3rd down? Can they get touchdowns in the red zone? Because then all the talented players can eat. That's what becomes really important.
And there's a reason there's more preseason optimism or even hype surrounding this team than, say, when Stafford and Megatron were together with the Lions. Stafford, a former #1 overall pick. Megatron drafted in top 10 as well, I think top 5 actually with the Lions, and was an unbelievable player. But they did not have the people around him, and they didn't have the defense. This Browns team, to me, has 3 legitimate stars on defense. You've talked about the offensive line. We know Nick Chubb's, damn near a 1st rounder and played well last year. And then they have Kareem Hunt coming back at some point next season to add to that. Plus Jarvis, they brought him in to be a #1. Now he only has to be a #2. Njoku's a guy who showed so much natural athletic ability at the University of Miami, and if he can get the drops down, he can be one of the more prolific tight ends in football. It's the whole tapestry, if you will, that makes the Browns so exciting. It's not just that they have the best very young quarterback in football, arguably, aside from Mahomes, and the most talented receiver in the league. It's that's not going to be their only punch. That's not going to be the only way they can beat you.
The defense that the Browns will have, it will be the best defense OBJ has had when he's sitting on the bench. All right? Offensive line, it will be the best offensive line. Running game, it will be the best running game. It will be the best collection of wide receivers. I'm not going to say Baker's a better quarterback than Eli. He's got a better overall arm than Eli. Eli's got a strong arm. He's more accurate with the football and the variety for which he can throw the football. So all those things should lead to him not necessarily putting up bigger numbers, but they should be more successful as a team. Defense is better, offensive line is better, running game is better, quarterback potentially will be better, receiving core is the best that he's played on. It should be results that the kid used to be blonde hair, now it's his natural color. We should get back.
No, you know
some
why
great results.
They're going to be great.
Why?
Started my favorite show last year.
Oh, Hard Knocks.
Right,
Yeah,
the next year.
Yeah, that got the coach fired. It let everyone know that.
Yeah, but I enjoyed myself.
My
but
guy
I had
Todd
a good
Haley's
time.
still looking for work.
Hey, coming up.
Hard Knocks.
Now I kind of miss the
Took
yellow
some
hair.
people down.
It's been like 8 minutes, CC. Why doesn't Giannis want people calling him MVP? That's
It's a lot of people upset he changed
about the
his
yellow hair?
Yep. A lot of women upset.